If any film was deserving of the title Legacy, I think Jurassic World certainly fits. This is basically the big coming together picture. I think, as I've heard, a lot of people are referring to this one as the final picture. I mean, it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, I think the Jurassic World, well, they'll continue to roll out of other types of, maybe they'll do some spin-off movies. I'm thinking, like, in terms of the principal films, I've heard this one is the last, really the culmination, but I mean, they'll continue to make projects. They'll continue to make other, types of extensions of entertainment, whether they be in the video gaming space. There's been a big one for the Jurassic World franchise, maybe new television shows. They got that Netflix show, Camp Cretaceous, and they got that other, like, the Lego cartoon that they did. I forget what it was called, but they've done, other projects that fit the Jurassic World brand, so they could still expand, and they probably will, because this franchise makes a lot of money. But for good reason. This is a long-standing brand, right? From the original trilogy back, for how many years it came out originally with the first picture, which I'm going to go and rewatch pretty soon in anticipation of this new film coming out in the next month. I mean, it's coming out really quickly. But I'm very excited for Jurassic World Dominion. I'm very much looking forward to watching it in theaters, to see both casts come back, especially the new one. I've loved the Jurassic World films. The Jurassic Park films. I like 1 and 3. 2 I didn't care as much for from a story level, but 1 and 3 were very, I really like number 3 especially. I'm much more of a thriller guy. I mean, the first one's really good, of course, and that set the whole brand rolling, but I love, number 3 as well. But then you've got the Jurassic World franchise, and I've loved both films, especially the last one. I had a great experience in theaters watching Fallen Kingdom. I mean, that's called Fallen Kingdom, right? Yes. And I'm a big Chris Pratt fan, as well as a fan, of the original, or the entire cast, but Chris Pratt is an immediate draw for me. So let's go ahead and take a look, though, at this Legacy featurette and see, perhaps, again, an explanation from the cast, I would imagine. I mean, the thumbnail featured the former leads, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. Obviously, this is bring back the original cast. I'm sure it'd be a time to explore, memories. I'm sure that was fun on set for them. Be like, you get to return to the world that you helped establish all those years ago. I'm going to go ahead and cue this up, and we'll get a deeper perspective on this, ultimate film, it seems. And we'll, of course, discuss it more after we watch this together. Without further ado, here we go. Pretty long featurette, too. Yeah, I do need to go back and rewatch those movies, though. I needed to for some time. Because keep in mind, we didn't have Jurassic World, with all the delays and stuff. This is supposed to come out way earlier.
We had an enormous amount of fun on the first film.
Cut, good, excellent.
There was an energy on set that it was the first time you'd ever seen anything like this.
I was excited about everything that it could be.
When I saw the dinosaur in the trailer and I saw the ripples on the water, I was like, oh my gosh. It really defined my generation, this film.
I cried.
It's interesting to see this, so many years later. Because I didn't see these movies in theaters. I started with Jurassic World, so I'm like the next generation watching this. It's cool to see behind-the-scenes perspective.
And I realized at that moment that cinema
it's sort of the world that you don't have access to just based on when you're living, but that you can share in the enjoyment now of a new generation.
The culmination of the franchise. It concludes a story that Steven Spielberg started telling in 1993.
When we were making Jurassic World, I knew it was going to be really special. I could never have imagined we'd be here working alongside Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern. It's pretty fantastic.
It is so much fun. It is.
This is going to be a behemoth in the summertime, I can already imagine.
I thought it was a fantastic idea to bring these two worlds together.
It's been a great privilege to be a custodian of something like this. Our legacy characters, our Jurassic World characters, are back.
Our legacy characters. What a title.
It's the convergence of the two franchises.
We need to fix a terrible mistake.
And most importantly, go on a true, honest-to-God, scary-as-hell adventure.
This is what everything has been leading to. I could use your expertise.
You coming or what?
That feathered dinosaur is so cool. Loved it the first time we saw it in the original trailer.
Why do they always have to go bigger?
Because it makes it more fun.
Don't move.
Again, this new film has looked great. I wonder, though, are the films going to extend beyond this one? Because they're pretty explicit in the way they articulate that this is the last movie in terms of, again, wrapping things up. I imagine, again, they're doing that in mind. You'd be like, okay, we've had the original trilogy for so long, and the actors, so much time has gone on at this point that it's best to maybe conclude it now, and then maybe in the future move on of a new cast. Maybe they could do this, years later down the line. Jurassic World or Jurassic Universe. I don't know. It's like, what do you do beyond Jurassic World? We did Park, World, what next? Jurassic City? No, that's not bigger than a world, though. You have to think bigger. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see if they expand in the future. I'd imagine there's probably maybe some talk, at least, of that. Because, again, this movie has made a lot of money, and this is going... You're talking about big crossover flicks for the new year. And thinking about 2022 thus far, I mean... This is like the big year, though, of crossovers. I think back last year we had a Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters at the tail end, so almost into 2022. But I'm filming this as of May 5th. So all the talk was about, Doctor Strange being like this as well. And that one, as I understand, I haven't seen it yet, but it kind of failed to deliver on that front. At least when people were thinking about it. But Jurassic World Dominion, 2 different franchises, essentially, of the same universe, coming together, 2 different generations, really. But one that is blended because, again, it's the same story. I'd imagine this is going to fare very well. I mean, there's so many points of strength that I can think of. I mean, the films have been great. And Colin Trevorrow is an excellent filmmaker. I mean, I've seen some of his work even beyond Jurassic World. I finally got a chance to watch The Book of Henry. Good movie, by the way. He's a very talented writer. I've liked his work here. Again, I love Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I had a great experience in theaters watching it, partly because my friend kept scaring me the entire time, and I like thrillers and horrors for the most part. Well, the atmosphere of a horror film more so than maybe some of the content ventures that some of those films of that genre might go on. I'm much more a thriller guy, but it was a scary movie, and I absolutely loved it. And partly because I know Jay Bayona comes from horror, but it's such a fun experience. But again, it's interesting to consider, watching this featurette. It is the 2 worlds colliding. But 2 different generations, and I'm the latter. So I haven't been able to appreciate Jurassic World perhaps maybe the extent that some others have. Not to say I'm not a fan of it, because I absolutely am, but I didn't grow up with the original, trilogy. I grew up in the later generation. That's how I came into Jurassic World. My first film in the Jurassic franchise was that 4th movie within the chronology. So I get to have the experience that many other adults had. Because I've gotten to watch these, of course, post-release, because these films have been out for so long. But now I get to be in a theater and feel perhaps like I'm in the old world. It's a cool experience. It's a neat idea. And Legacy certainly fits the title of this, featurette, as well as the cast coming in here. I love how they refer to the 3 actors, especially from the earlier trilogy. Legacy characters. It's great. Wouldn't you love that title? Like, I helped define this movie. I get to live with that legacy as long as God wills me on the planet. What are your guys' thoughts, though, of Jurassic World Dominion? And do you think, because I am, 100%, thinking into this is going to be probably a top hit for the summer, I would imagine. I don't think there's any other films coming out at this point that might rival this one in strength. Not that I can think of, at least at the moment. There's, not that many big name releases for June, from what I can think of. I mean, there's some other releases that have looked good, but nothing in the way compared to the prominence of the Jurassic World brand, or a film like this. So, we'll see what happens, but do you think this could be maybe a top hit for the summer? I'll have to see. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.